what is I Teach Pro? I Teach Pro is a motivational organization that I created in order to help people to believe in their dreams, to never give up on themselves. I Teach Pro itself stands for I Teach Positive Reassured Opportunity, meaning that I believe that as long as we stay positive and be reminded, reassured, encouraged that there's always going to be another door of opportunity for you to succeed at your dream. So you just got to prepare yourself for that and never throw in the towel and give up on yourself. A lot of times people actually have to get around other people who will encourage them and motivate them to not give up on their dreams and to believe in themselves. So a lot of it has to do with the people that you're around. So I created I Teach Pro to be a network of people who are really for the people. We believe that the opportunity for success is not limited by your age, your gender, or your race. So I Teach Pro is just a brand of positive people who are there for the people to help encourage them and push them and motivate them and set them on the right track so that they can fulfill and accomplish the dreams that have been placed in their heart. So you can contact us at www.iteachpro.com and make sure that you connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Once again, my name is Sean Rich, and I Teach Pro. What's good? What's good? It's your boy Sean Rich, and we in here today with my main man, Deondra.
Yes, sir.
About to get it in, chop it up a little bit. As y'all know, this is the I Teach Pro podcast, where we always shooting straight from the heart, talking about anything that's dealing with anything positive. Y'all know how we do. I got my man Nigel, he behind the scene today.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all hear him? But yeah, so we about to get it in. Yeah. So I got my man Deondra in here, and we just gonna shoot straight from the heart, man. First of all, it's just an honor to have you on the podcast with us today. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna keep it real, man, and chop it up some. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't mind, just tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Deondra McMillan. I am a children's church pastor at Faith Tabernacle Christian Center. Also, I'm a business owner. I do handicap accessible bathrooms, ramps, whatever home improvement. That's just part of what I do as a ministry, because tapped into the fact that nobody was doing it.
Cool.
I service a lot of disabled people, and nobody was able to do anything for them. So I started chasing down Medicaid.
Mm-hmm.
These folks need some assistance.
Yeah.
And that was the start of a whole nother ministry.
Gotcha.
It's not a job anymore. It's still ministry. That's what it become.
Cool. How long you been doing that?
This is, actually, I've been in the business 30 years, home improvement. For the last about 7 years, I've been doing the handicap accessible bathroom and ramps.
Okay. Got you. So you said you also a children's church pastor.
Yes, sir.
At Faith Tabernacle Christian Center.
Yes, sir.
As well. Married.
I have 3 kids. I've been married 31 years. This year, November, will be 31 years.
Cool.
The most beautiful woman in this world.
The beautifulest woman in this world.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
I would not be the Deondra that I am without her.
Gotcha.
Don't let nobody fool you.
Mm-hmm.
When you find a good thing, it's for a lifetime.
Got you. So on that note right there, because actually on the last podcast, we were talking about relationships. You know what I'm saying? So what would you say? So you got, 31 years in the game?
Years.
What advice would you give to someone like me? You know what I'm saying? I got 17 years in. And then we got Nigel over here.
We got 0 in.
Zero. So he's single. So what would be your advice, first of all, to somebody like, me that got 17 years in the game, as far as like just the longevity, you know what I'm saying? How, what y'all have done, some things that y'all have done, you know what I'm saying, to make it work and whatnot up to this point.
Listen, and it ain't easy. No matter what you go into to do, it's never easy. You just got to find the best route for you and your wife, or even the job. And so there's been some rocky times. But at the end of the day, being honest with you, could not have done it without the Lord.
Got you.
He has been the glue that kept everything that started to unravel. He was the one I started acknowledging him in all my ways. And he started to direct my path into the fact of how to handle the wife that he gave.
Gotcha.
I was about like Adam. Blaming God. We gonna keep it real.
Gotcha.
Lord,
So that's what we want to do.
why you ain't tell me this?
Uh-huh.
And you know what he started telling me? You never really asked me. You never asked me. Because you have not. Because you asked not. So I started asking the Lord, Lord, how do I handle this woman that you've given me? And guess what? He started showing me how to handle that. How to handle when she get on the edge of the roof. She ain't gonna jump. She had to make me jump. She pushing me to the edge, and I'm ready to jump off. And so the Lord began to remind me. He said, listen, you have to go beyond what you hear and know her heart. The same way that I know your heart, others might see you just messed up, jacked up from the floor up, but I really know what's in you. He started to show me my wife's heart, change my life and how I handle her. She can come through now and got you, baby. I'm on it. I'm on it. Oh, you ain't got nothing to say? No, I got it. What I started doing is what she would mention to me, I would start doing without her saying anything, just a little bit by little bit. When she got home, oh, you did that? Girl, anything for you. I'll walk a country mile. I'll jump off the roof now. Why can I do it now? Because I know the Lord got me. He got me. Why? Because I've honored her in the way that he told me to. So now you jump, you make me jump, now I'm dead. Back in that time, if I had to jump, I would have been dead. Didn't want to come back anyway. Really didn't. And
What you mean back in that time?
Back in the time where there were some things that I've done that jeopardized the marriage. You know, and it had nothing to do with infidelity at that time. It was just that I started giving up. Just started giving up on the marriage. Why? For what? What purpose? I'm not getting the benefit. I'm not being the one that's satisfied. I'm making sure everybody's satisfied with me. And I'm looking around at the end of the day. She's smiling, kids smiling, and I'm sitting back like, what about me?
Now,
So, go ahead.
now, how old were you when you got married? Let's get that. Like, how old were you during the beginning process and stuff?
I was probably about 20, 25.
Wow. Okay. So you were young.
Young. We got, and real young. And so.
Now, when y'all first got married, were y'all in church and everything at that time, or?
No. No. That happened years later.
Okay.
Gotcha.
But when I met my wife, I was a dope dealer.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Gangbanger. Street hustler. When I say hustler, don't keep it hustler. I didn't turn down nothing. No. Didn't give up nothing. And nobody taking anything.
Okay.
It's just real life.
Yeah.
Mine and yours.
And you grew up here in North Carolina? Y'all grew up around North Carolina?
Yeah. I grew up in North Carolina. Matter of fact, right here in St. Paul's is where my stepdad was from. So I grew up around here.
Wow. Okay.
Really, coming out of New Jersey. That's where he was stationed at in the military.
Okay.
Oh, well, yeah. And so we moved down here because his parents was here. And this was the stomping grounds. I done learned some things by watching other folk, you know what I mean, in the city, you know, how to do it fast. So when I got down here, they were real slow. Just take overtime.
It was easy.
Yeah, easy. Real easy. And what the Lord had me to learn is, if you can do it for the evil, just imagine what you can do for the good. What you do for the good?
So in that process, being out there in the streets and the game, what was it that drew you to, finding Christ and finally giving your life to the Lord?
Oh my! Whew. The Lord knew that kids was my heart. He knew kids. I would do anything for the kids. I would take the girls' money, and And when it came down to the kids, I would still put the food back in the house for the kids. I wouldn't let her take it out. Don't bring me anything that we put in your house. Don't bring it back to me. Keep it for the kids. If you need something to get by, you just come see me personally, and we can do some works.
Gotcha.
And so that's how that went. But we ain't taking nothing from the kids. And this is what drew me. It was one incident with the guy. That it wasn't me originally, but he jumped on one of my boys, beat him up pretty bad. So I told him, I said, look, we're going to dress out. Everybody black, and we going. Went to his house. And I was enraged, just enraged. Shot the door down, shot every window in the house. And when I went in the house, this is where it started. I could hear his kids crying. Feet bleeding, walking in that glass. And the grandmother, his mother, was underneath the chair. I couldn't believe how that woman got on that rocking chair. When I look back on it. But at that time, he had to go. And so we walked all the way through his house, back in the bedroom. He was under the bed, his gun sitting on the table. And he never would look me in the eye. I said, pick it up. Pick your gun up, because the day is your last day. My street name was Heavy. He said, Heavy, I'm not going to do it. He wouldn't pick it up. The kids was pulling on me. Now, this is what brought me to the Lord. They were pulling on my clothes, man, when I was leaving out, going in. And so I could not sleep for about 2 years. Every time I closed my eyes, man, I could feel them kids and hear their voice pulling on me. Please don't kill my dad. Please don't kill my dad. 2 years. 2 years. Wasn't until I met my wife and all of that that really brought me to the Lord. See, she was the one that started going to church. I was just coming out from the club, doing what I did. So I would ask her, what the preacher preach about? She told me for a little while. After a while, she said, if you want to know, you come see. Oh, you think I'm scared? Is that what you think? That's not going to happen. So that Sunday, February the 14th, 1996, went to church for the first time in my life. And the man of God was preaching. The potter wants to put you back together again. I'm like, what you done said to that man? Because I don't know if anybody else heard him. But he was talking to me. I'm like, girl, you had to say something. I'm pissed off. We leaving out of church. I can't wait to get you out there in this car.
Telling on
But that's just how the Lord works. He uses the message through a messenger to reach you, no matter how lost you are. This is what got me to that place. And my wife said, I said nothing to him. I said, I don't even know that man's name.
You can check it, man.
No.
You can check it or whatever. You good, man.
Good. We can keep it real.
Okay, you never know. It might be the wife or whatever. You know,
well,
the wife
she know what man.
whatever.
But yeah, them calls, man, they come in like that. But yeah.
You good.
But, she said, I said nothing to him. I had said not one word to this man about you. I'm like, well, then how he know so much about me then? She said, honey, that was the Lord talking to you. The Lord? How he know me? I ain't got no relationship with him. How is he calling out me like that? She said, God want to do something in your life. And the next Sunday, I just went just to see where it was at. And I'm honest to the Lord. I have no idea to this day how I ended up at the altar. This is AME Zion Church. You don't ever come to the altar. You don't go there. I found myself worshiping God. And this is where I gave my life in 1992 to the Lord. Lord, I surrender all. Please put me back together. Never look back.
So,
Never.
so prior to that, you didn't grow up in church.
No, man, I'm black and fat. Now, what you folks talking about God? How God gonna be in all them places that they talking about? All these churches at one time? Somebody lying to me. Somebody got to be lying.
Wow.
My wife said, you are just as green as ever. I said, ain't no way. How is he gonna be there? Yeah, the Spirit of the Lord was in this. I'm like, yeah, folk got to be telling some stories. It's got to be made up. Because I don't see him. You know, I sat here and I heard what you said, but I'm not fully persuaded that neither death nor life, nor things to come. See, I'm not fully persuaded. You got to do a little bit more. But after being at that altar, I knew God was real, because the only things that I knew, he began to show me how much he was yet still in. I was shot at, man, with a .357 Magnum, point blank range. Bullet went through my car, stopped at the head, right outside the door panel, at my head. I knocked the bullet down, and that's a whole other story. I dropped 3 that night.
So in the midst of all that, like not growing up in church, you out there, you wilding out, shootout, dope gang and everything, and then, but you come to church and you have this experience with God, even though you don't understand God at the time. And you have this experience with God that day that changed your life.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Changed my life forever. Now, did I make mistakes in coming to know him fully? Sure I did.
Yeah, that was my next question. So can you kind of give us a little bit on that transition part? Because I'm like, at that time, are you still in the dope game during this time, or have you kind of got away from that a little bit?
I got away from that. I was actually working a job. You know, I was delivering food equipment for a company out of Fayetteville. So I was actually working a job. And so, you know, it just wasn't enough money.
Gotcha.
Just wasn't enough money.
Yeah.
In this job I was doing every day. Car had broke down, and I'm figuring out, shit, I got to get some cash. I took that $200 that I got from my paycheck that week after taxes.
Oh, gosh.
That was after taxes.
You trying to take care of family at this time?
At the time, it was just me and my wife. You know, I didn't have no major bills. I had light bill, phone bill, you know, and things like that. I was paying rent because my father and them owned the house. They had moved to Charlotte. And so I was paying them a little rent, to stay there. And it got hard. It got hard. I took that $200 Friday. I called my boy up, because you always keep your connections. Because you never know where my at.
Yeah.
I made the call. I said, look, man, I need a front meal package. He said, D, come on, get it. Wonderful. I sat right there at the church that I was going to, in the park. I took that $200, made $2,000 that night.
In the church parking lot?
In the church parking lot. Did I feel bad about it? Not one bit.
Now, what year was this? $200 from your regular job?
Yeah, it was in 96.
Okay, yeah.
It was 96. Yeah.
Man.
They was only giving me, I think, minimum wage was what, $5.25, something like that. That was it. No. You miss a day work, boy, you shot. And shoot, and that was about it. Because they were taking out on, single, no kid. And they taking out $100 worth of taxes.
Gotcha. So this takes place after you had already went to the altar.
Yes.
But you got in a tight spot. You needed money, and you resorted to doing what you were used to doing.
But the only thing I ever knew, how to make fast money. So I made fast money.
Gotcha.
That was on a Saturday night, Friday night and Saturday. Sunday morning, I was going to get up, go to church.
So at that point in time, you're not even feeling necessarily convicted about what you've done at that moment.
Man, I paid my bills off for a contract.
God is good.
Ain't it though? That's what I said too. That's what I said.
Jesus.
Look at God.
Stay on, dog.
Won't he do it? That's what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
For real.
Yeah, for real.
You know,
for real.
not in that manner, but that's what I'm thinking, Lord. I thank you for that.
For sure. I got you. Yeah.
Pay my bills up, man. So I was good to go.
Yeah.
And the rest of the money that Sunday morning, I couldn't keep it. Couldn't keep it. The Lord told me to put it, every dime that you make, put it in the basket. I said, oh, the devil is lying. The devil lying to me. So is. I might not know about a whole lot about God, but I know that's the devil talking. That's the devil talking. Please get off me. Because I'm not, and I'm telling you, man, I probably had like $7,000, $8,000, $9,000. Yeah.
Off the 200.
Off the 200. Off the 200. I'm telling you, it was far back in there. Them days.
Those days are different than it is.
Yeah, a little bit different. Yeah, see, and I was knocking all these boys out here around in this area. I was knocking them out the box. They had them little bitty old quarters. Yeah, I had a 50 for a quarter. I was taking over.
Okay.
Taking over. But the Lord told me you can't keep it. I said, Lord, you gave it to me now. It was on me. Man, listen, this conversation going on right in church. My wife said, shh. I said, girls, we got to talk. She said, shh, man, preacher. I was like, look, they told me to put my money in that bag. I'm not going to do that, girl. I don't make this. No. She said, shh, listen to the Lord. Listen to the Lord.
Wow.
Offering plate came around, and I put every dime in the basket. And guess what happened? Somebody saw it. One of the leaders or deacons in the church saw it. So they called me up after the service, asked me did I want to be a deacon.
What?
That's what I said.
That quick.
That quick.
So you only been, how often had you been to the church?
Man, I
at
probably
this point?
been in that church probably about maybe 3 months, if that.
About 3 months.
About 3 months, if that.
And out the gate, they seen that.
They seen
Nice
that money.
wad you put in there.
Yeah.
That's a deacon right there.
That's a deacon for sure. That's a deacon for sure.
For the money, wow.
Yeah, but he put stuff
You gotta
like
find
that.
him something to do.
Yeah. I'm telling you the honest God truth. Ask my wife. They asked me to be a deacon that Sunday. And I had to break it down to them. I said, listen, I don't even know God like that.
Got you.
Yeah.
You asking me to do that. Say, well, we'll send you through the deacon training. I said, I don't want your position. And this is what the Lord told me. He said, don't you ever rely on you or any other man for what I want to supply you with. For what I need to give you, can another man give it to you? You can't even make it yourself. I had to live with that. Now, mind you, I had to leave from that church without a dime to my name.
Yeah.
Not one dime to my name. Not one dime to my name. Brakes squeaking, then brake shoes on my car. And I get a call that Monday morning. Hey, listen. And I used to do mechanic work on the side. Hey, man, look, I need you to do such and such. I put a timing chain on my timing belt on my timing chain on my car, and I give you $5. So that day I made $500. I said, ooh, this God thing is real. When he said, you depend on me, solely depend on me. Financially, I've struggled so, but I've never had the mindset to go back doing what he bought me out of.
So that was your last time?
That was my last time. That was my last time entertaining the thought of going back.
That's good.
I didn't know a whole lot about God at the time, but I knew his voice. Tell you what, nobody else said anything to me about what I did. Nobody else said anything to me about what I've done, where I did, where I'm going. Nobody.
So your wife never brought it back up. She never
said a thing.
Wow.
She never said anything to me.
So when you saying nobody else said anything to you about what you did, you talking about when you was out there in the streets? Out there in the streets. Nobody wasn't like pulling on you like, man, you need to stop this and you need to.
No.
Gotcha.
Nobody bring it back up and throw it in your face and nothing like that.
So even when you got married, like your wife wasn't trying to tell you to get out the streets.
No, she left me alone.
She just left you alone.
She left me alone. She knew what I was doing.
Gotcha.
She
She just loved you.
She loved me.
Mm-hmm.
Once she knew the Lord before that. She came to the Lord before I did. So that's what she done. She just loved me through it.
Right where you was at.
Right where I was at.
Yeah. Which is so important, man, because, you know, even to like the people that's watching, because a lot of times a lot of people think that, you know, they got to clean it all up before they come to God, which we know for a fact is not true. You know, like, man, I'm gonna sell this last pack, then I'm gonna get right. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times I'm gonna sleep with this last girl, then I'm gonna get right. I'm gonna give it all up. You know, and a lot of times that's us trying to do it in our own strength.
Yes, sir.
You know, when God speaks, when he knocks, you know what I'm saying, we just got to move and do what he tells us to do. That's what I see. Like in the story, when I hear people tell stories, it's like I can see it like a movie. You know what I'm saying? So all this playing, I can see you out in the parking lot sitting in the car with your gun over there, laying on your lap. You know what I'm saying? And so, but yeah, man, but even in the midst of all that, here you are, you know, you've already had this encounter with God.
Yes, sir.
And then you run into this tight situation. Result back to what you normally used to, which is usually our normal routine with everything, not even just with this situation, but with everything in our life. We result back to what we used to doing. You know what I'm saying? And then here it is, you push this dope in the parking lot, in the church parking lot. You know what I'm saying? Which is at the same church where you had the encounter with God, right? And then take care of all your bills and everything, and then you get there Sunday and God speaks to you. He don't say nothing to you while you out there doing your thing.
Not the whole night.
The whole night.
Whole 2 nights. Hadn't said nothing.
At the time when he decided that it's time to speak, he speaks to you, you hear him, and the change continues to happen from there.
From there on. And that's just the whole issue. That he normally won't say nothing to you while you're doing your mess or while you're in your sin. It's when you start to have a conscience about your sin. It's about when you start to have a conscience. You know what? Well, this ain't quite right. So I went to church. Okay, Lord, you know, I got my bill paid, so I'm good. I'm free. I'm open. I'm open. And he knew I was open. That's why he spoke to me. Put it in the plate. Real little conversation. You know, there's something going on at first.
Yeah.
But when I knew, my wife said, that's the Lord. How did I know this? Because she heard it the first time when he started speaking to me. That was the Lord talking to me. So I knew that there was a connection. I believed in the God that was in her. I did. If she was to say it, I would believe it. That's all it took. When she said, that's the Lord. I dropped the money in the basket. And she was trying to figure out, why they calling you back? I said, I have no idea. But that's what she said. Oh, that's what they asked you. That's what they asked you. I said, yeah, for real.
So you didn't take the position?
No.
Yeah, which is actually, you know, we laugh about it, but that still really happens a lot today. Like I see a lot of people get saved as soon as they get in church, you know what I'm saying? Somebody offering them to be a minister, somebody offering them a position in the church, which is not good, you know. So you knew well enough at that time, like, hey, this ain't good for me to do, you know, whatnot. But a lot of people jump on it.
Yeah. Yeah. But see, that, and that time, you know, I was led throughout the whole process of doing what I did on my own discretion.
Gotcha.
It won't because I thought that if somebody else, you know, if I didn't want to do it, I ain't going to do it. Now I got a 22-year-old, 21-year-old now, same way. Oh, you can't persuade him to do nothing.
Can't force him to do anything.
No. I don't care. Break his arm, twist his leg, knock his head off. If he ain't going to do it, he won't do it.
So at that time, because I'm thinking, you know, a lot of times people who actually buy into or fall into taking the titles and stuff, a lot of times they actually are people who are actually dealing with insecurities, trying to find a place to fit in, trying to find acceptance. So that was something that you didn't necessarily battle with.
No, I really didn't. And like you said, it is easy to do when you don't know you. And it brings about some self-gratification. But I'm telling you, it was if I went into a place to do what I did, nobody persuaded me.
You did it because you wanted to.
I did it because I wanted to, and that was just what the Lord grew me up to, because He knew that even when I came to ministry, nobody would be able to persuade me. I don't care what you give me. Now I'm in the position I can offer. I can offer. But that was all in my process of coming to know Him. He takes all of it, shake it together, and make it good. I don't care what it is, how bad it's been, what it looked like, who says what, who don't believe. God will, and He does believe. He does. He does, because one thing that I've come to know is He has a place for you that can't nobody else do. I don't care what kind of duplications come out. You can do the remix all you like. No. If God has it for you, it is. Nobody else can do it. And it could be the same thing that somebody else has done. There's a lot of people remodel houses and do better. But God put me in the place where I'm the only one to do it. I'm the only one to do it. Not that they haven't done it, but did you hear what I said? I'm the only one to do it. They call me every day. I got 9, 10 jobs lined up. Not to be bragging, but I got 9, 10 jobs lined up right now. Because they done tried to get somebody else to do what God called me to do. Don't work. They called me back. Mr. McMillan. Well, we had such and such, such. I said, well, y'all know the price goes up now. Anytime I have to go behind somebody, the price goes up. And I felt bad the first time. Well, maybe, Lord, He said, every man is worth his hire. If you are it, you make what's due you, no matter what. No matter what. You do. You do. You're going to get some. You're going to get some naysayers, some critics, some critics. But I'm moving forward. God is doing it. And this is the other part. I'm still acknowledging Him in all my ways. Have I crossed every T, dotted every I? Yeah. But at the end of the day, God forgive me for that I that I didn't dot. Forgive me for that T that I didn't cross. And what's been the key to my success right now is the support of my wife. Didn't always have that. This is how we go close that out. Is I always didn't have that because of the decision I decided that I didn't want to be in it. So that made me treat her bad. Made me treat her a certain kind of way. As much as she loved me, I couldn't love her. I couldn't. I was trying. I wanted to, with everything within me. But I left out God. I left God out. The key ingredient to every mixture is God. I don't care what you're baking, cooking, fixing, riding. If He is not in it, it ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. So I started putting Him at the forefront of everything. Everything. My marriage, dealing with my children, dealing with folk on the job, and, everything. Ain't nothing. I'm walking into the blessings that God promised me when I first came into to know Him. When He said, depend on me, I will supply your every need. Folks used to prophesy to me. You're going to be doing work all over. North, south, east, and west. I'm like, okay. Didn't quite see that at the time. Didn't quite see that. But now that I've honored Him by loving my wife, not about what I've done, not about how great I do the job, but because I've learned how to love my wife the way that God said love her.
So you was saved, walking with God, but still hadn't necessarily learned that dynamic of how to really love her.
No. Always something get in the way. There's always something get in the way. The job start demanding you to do a little bit more. You know, so now I can't spend time at home because I got to make this money. Because why? She asking me, when you gonna get some money coming in here? What you gonna do? So the enemy used those kind of things to keep a man on the revolving, merry-go-round. Never really understanding, man. Just stop and go to the center. Go to the center of it. You get a better perspective. And the other thing is you don't turn as fast. When you go to the middle of the merry-go-round, you don't turn as fast if you stand on the outside. You get a chance to look at some matters before you actually do. Even though you want to jump off. But man, I ain't getting as sick as I used to.
Don't get as dizzy.
Now I can bring some things into perspective.
Yeah.
Oh, girl, I see what you're trying to do. Oh, you just need a hug and a kiss. That's what you need. I hear you doing all that. But is you going to come home tonight early? Or what you going to do? Girl, I'm going to be home early. Listen, man, and he didn't take nothing. I walk in with a kiss and a hug. Girl, you so looking good. All that edge on the edge, ain't no more. It starts to cease. And at this point right now, I get stroked every morning, just about before I leave out. You great man of God. So, boy, you know how I walk out the house?
Just
superhero.
That's what I'm saying.
Silverback, baby, silverback. Don't you come at me, Goliath. For real. Don't come at me. And they do. Women come at me.
So let me ask you this. Yes, so how did you know your wife was the one? So as a young man, how did you know, okay, that's the one I need to be going after right there? Was it God, or was it just you was just pimping back then? You seen that she looked good?
Yeah, no, wasn't even her good looks. It was how she treated me. Wow. What she demanded out of me had nothing to do with what I had. I used to leave home for 6 months at a time. I give her $10,000, and she wouldn't spend probably maybe $1,000 out of 6 months. Guess what she would tell me when I got home? I said, girl, how much money you got left? Because I wasn't planning on selling down at all. At all. Hadn't even thought about it. Nah, they ain't going to do that. She said, I don't know, we probably got about $9,000 in there. I said, you expect about $1,000? She said, listen, I don't like you for your money. She said, I love you for your heart. Because even then, I was doing things for people. I mean, the neighborhood, every Christmas, all the kids in the neighborhood got bicycles. The women got upgrades in their house. All of that. It's a new stove, refrigerator. You're going to cook them kids something to eat. I'm going to bust your head to the white meat. And so, for real. And that's just how that went. She said, oh, I love you for your heart. I got to look at after a little while, a couple of years. Hey, girl, you still here? She said, I ain't going nowhere. She said, underneath all of that nasty, gangster exterior is the man I want. Nigel, that was
Come
it.
on. Come on, man.
That was it. Changed my life.
So she saw it in you before you could see it in yourself.
Before I could see it. Before I could see it, she saw it. And she started calling it out of me. Come on. Deondra, come on. Little bit by little, come on. Yeah. I got you. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Oh, I'll forgive you for that. I'll forgive you for that. Come on. I know you're in there. I know you're in there. And she stayed with me. She stayed with me when I had and when I didn't. I said, I know now you're ready to go. When I walked away from the game and I went and got a job, she stayed the whole time. And I decided, oh yeah, you it. And I told her, I said, girl, you are it for me. Let's go get married. She said, are you for real? Now, mind you, I used to tell her I didn't want to ever get married. Crushed her heart. Killed her. But she stayed. Killed her. But she stayed. And when I said, let's get married, she came alive. She came alive. She said, that's all I want. So we rode down to South Carolina. Did the thing.
Yeah, man.
We did it.
Wow. Shouts out to the women of God.
Yes.
This is the last episode. You know, Sean, you was talking about your mom and how she was with your father and how he came into Christ, and then just hearing about your wife and how she was with you and how it made you come into Christ. Shouts out to the women of God on that note. Man.
Yes, sir. It is awesome. And the Bible is so right. When a man findeth a wife, he's found a good thing. And it's not that you're already married, but there are so much of her that you need in your life that promotes you and provoke you to be a better man. I wanted to get a job, man. I had a dream. After about 2 years of nightmares. Couldn't sleep. 2 years, man. I did not sleep a sound sleep, 8 hours, 6 hours. It was always bits and pieces throughout the whole day.
Because you could feel those kids pulling on you.
Every night, every time I closed my eyes, man. During the day, at night, it didn't even matter. Just when I closed my eyes, I could feel it. And so I had a dream one night. I had 2 jobs to choose from. Mind you, I've never been to the unemployment office. Never been to the unemployment office in my life. The jobs I did have, they was all under the table, so I didn't have no money in, and the lady offered me 2 jobs. This is where God started to really move in my life. Didn't know him, but some of that started to put me in the place of coming to know him. Because I never my dreams, all I could think was them kids pulling on me. And this is what happened. I pulls up at Purdue in Fayetteville at a chicken place. And I looked at all them people going in there. And I could not go in there and fill out the application. All I saw were dollar signs. Every person walking in there was nothing but money to me. I said, good God Almighty, I can't do this. I'm trying to get out of that. I can't do it. Can't do it. So I turned around and went to the second job. And it was delivering the food equipment. Right there off of Robinson Street, Thompson and Little. Went in there, filled out the application. And mind you, when I told my wife now, my girlfriend, and my aunt, I'm going to get a job, they laughed at me. Yeah, that's exactly what they did. Just like y'all did right here. They were a little bit harder, though. You ain't going to get no job.
Wow.
You know you ain't going to work for who? I said, girl, I'm just going. Went to the second job I went to. Did a little interview, did the interview the same day. I came home and I told them, did you get a job? I said, no. I said, but he gonna call me. How you so sure that this guy gonna call me? I said, I really don't know, but he's gonna call me. That morning, about 8 o'clock, when they open up, I get a call. Mr. McMillan, could you come in for another interview? I said, yes, sir. Went in, 9 o'clock, gave me the job and the keys to the truck.
Wow.
So, through all that, as you mentioned earlier, that you are the now Children's Church pastor.
Yes, sir.
So, God used those kids at that time, and you didn't even see it at the time, where God was taking you as far as where you now as a pastor for Children's Church.
Never put the two together until I came here. I came to Back Town. And I saw, let me back up. At the church I was attending, I started working with the sons of Barry, just the little boys.
Gotcha.
I started working with them because I wasn't going to take, it was just a Sunday school helper.
Yeah.
They wanted I took a position, but I saw a need to help out the boys, because they didn't have no real men, stern men, and so I started sharing my good testimony in my life with these guys. And look, God has more for you. You don't have to go down this path. And so I did that for probably about 3 or 4 years. Actually, Jamal is one of the guys that I used to teach back in the day. Jamal man.
Yeah.
I was called him.
That's my boy.
Yeah. And when I got ready to leave, all them boys wanted to come with me because my time was up. The Lord told me the writings on the wall. Matter of fact, He sent a pastor from Second New Life to tell me that. He said, "Man, I've been looking for you about 2 years. The Lord told me that you need to leave where you are."
Wow.
I said, "Where am I gonna go?" He said, "I don't know. I'm just doing what the Lord told me to do."
What?
Yeah.
So he was a pastor at another church.
At another church.
Didn't try to get you to come to his church. Just
Okay.
said that God said it was time for you to leave.
Time for you to leave where you are. He said, if you don't leave this year, you're going to have to serve 7 more years.
Wow.
Of bondage.
I
didn't feel like I was bound up. But only just being the teacher was my bondage. Because God had me to be a pastor. That was His intent.
Wow.
Didn't see it, didn't know it. But now that I've accepted the call, I understand why it was time for me to go. They couldn't groom me enough to become what God had for me to be. That's the other thing people really need to realize is there are certain places that can't groom you enough. No matter what they give you, how they allow you to do, or what you get, they are just not capable of growing you up to become what God really has for you. It's tough because I didn't want to leave. I was pretty comfortable where I was, but things started to happen. God said, "Okay, you didn't want to go," so it started shaking.
Yeah.
Ooh, wait a minute, something happening here, and so I started branching off. When I told them, I said, "Well, look, I'm gonna start. I'll be here this Sunday. Be here tonight." So I started visiting. Went to Prophet Goins Church for about a year. I said, well, I turned in my resignation, and I was all good as long as I was Sunday school teacher for the Southern Belt. And after that, I became a whole lot other names. You a Christian? Saying them kind of words to another Christian? But it was time for me to go. So I went to Prophet Goins Church for about a year. And he just, one Sunday, he seen me sitting out there. One Sunday, he walked up and asked me, he said, "Why are you driving all the way down here?" I said, "Because I like your ministry." I said, "I couldn't stay where I was at." I said, "You giving me what I need." He said, "But I'm not the one to keep giving it to you. This was only to nourish you for a season." This is what he told me. Powerful. He said, "I'm not the one." He said, "I got a brother preaching down in St. Paul." He said, "You ain't got to come this far." He said, "He has what you need." What pastor does that?
Wow.
What man of God does that? That tells you that I don't have what you need. I was only just to nurse you to health, to give you strength enough to go where you really need to be. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. If you don't understand that, then you'll keep what you have and never let anything go.
That's major. That says so much about character of, just the man of God, where it's not like they're just trying to keep members, and that says a lot.
Yeah.
Says a lot. Wow. So then you came to Faith Tab, and from there, how long was it when you started Faith Tab? How was that transition to becoming church pastor?
Church pastor. Probably maybe, I was probably maybe 3 or 4 years. And I'm not a praise singer. I'm just a praise worshiper. And so I found myself just worshiping the Lord. And I guess, Elder Douglas saw something in it. I guess
that fella right there.
That worship I can use. And so they offered me to sing on the praise team.
Okay. All right.
Well, that's where I started. On the
you was on the praise team?
I was on the praise team.
Let me find out, Pastor Dan. Hold on now.
I know.
Let me find out.
I was on the praise team.
I did not remember that.
I sung with the men one song, but other I just practiced until the Lord spoke to the pastor. He said, that's not your place.
Wow.
He said, that's not your place. I said, well, I'm just filling in the gap. I said, I know that that's not it. And this is how the conversation started. He said, I remember you telling me when you first came to the church that your desire and your heart was for children is what brought you to the Lord. I said, I'm going to let you start. He said, I'm going to give you and your wife the position to become children's church pastors. Well, yeah. And that's just where it all began.
It's good.
And change is never good for some, but for them that need it, it's everything. It's everything. It don't even matter what you say, how you look at me. I know now that I am where God wanted me to be. Don't mess with them in them 6 to 12. Don't mess with them.
Yeah.
Oh, Thug D can show up. He can show up.
That's what I'm talking about.
He ain't that far away. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, did you have naysayers when you was getting put in the position, and they like, nah, you don't know what he used to do back in the day? Did that come across? How did you deal with that?
Yeah. But you're gonna always have that, no matter where you go, what you do. But knowing that this is where God had me, what he brought me through gave me the knowledge, the wisdom to absorb it. Not let it take root. I hear what you're saying. I hear you, but I ain't listening to you. There's a difference. You start listening to those voices, they'll start moving you out of your place. They'll start taking you away real gradually. And so I didn't listen to it. I kept on striving. And when I got to the point where it got too heavy, great man of God, let me say something to you here. We need to talk.
Yeah.
See, I was never afraid to talk to no man. Why? Because I never feared him. Never feared a man. Never feared a man in my life, no matter what happened. What? Oh, we bring it. I went to the man of God and I was like, look, this is what's going on. And do I have the right and the free course to do what you asked me to do? He said, yeah, it's yours. I said, okay, thank you. That's what I need to do. Good. That's all I needed to hear. And so all the naysayers became believers. They became believers. Why? I didn't fight with flesh and blood. Took this thing to the Lord in prayer. And then my lifestyle. Okay, you want to have something to say, but this is what I need you to do. Make them a part of. Make them feel like they're just as important. What? You don't ask me? Sure, come on. This is what I need you to do. I need you to volunteer this Sunday to help us out.
Wow.
Change things.
Man. Now another question too. Let's for everybody to know, I am a product of your teaching from Children's Church. I am a proud product of his teaching. How every Sunday did you come up with those lessons? How did y'all? I know it's the spirit, but those lessons were awesome. There's some of those lessons I still know today.
Wow. And that just goes to show that it's all God. We started out talking off a curriculum, a Willie George curriculum out of the book.
Okay.
And it talked about horses and stables and campgrounds. And I was just looking out over the congregation. And I'm like, they have no idea what a horse is. Never been camping. So none of that really resonated in them. I said, Lord, you got to give me something different. And so I had to backed up my little bags, went to the office. Man of God, I didn't talk to you again. I didn't talk with you. I said, those lessons that we're teaching out of the Willie George series are not relevant to our children. They're not. They're not being effective to them. They're looking and it's entertaining, but it's not life changing. They need something life changing. And that was probably 20 years ago. The Lord always give us what we need for any given Sunday. Why can I say that? Because I ask him. If any man lack, let him ask of God. And he's surely to give it to you. The key to that is you have to be in the place where God called you. See, if you're over in left field trying to call God, see, he ain't over there. He ain't over there. Now, he hears you, but he can't answer you. Because you're not doing and being effective where he placed it. I knew children was it. I knew it. I don't have any questions about it. That's why I can stick and stay no matter what's been said, what's been done. You're not getting ready to move me out of the place where I know God called me. You might have some questions, but I don't. I don't have no reservations. Nothing. Oh, I'm it. I'm it. Now I can boast about that in the Lord. Not because I'm so great, but because of the Lord. Oh, I'm it. I'm it. I'm going to do what he says.
Cool, good. Yo, this been good, man. We're gonna have to bring you back.
Okay.
I got so one more question as we getting ready to end out. So you talked about, your transition from, the streets to the church, how your wife was very instrumental in that. The transition from different churches and people, God using people that saw things in you, to where you are now. As the children's church pastor, Nigel spoke about even how, your ministry in that area has, affected him. When it comes to today, even when you talk about the transition of how you had to go to pastor about the things that was going on that you feel like needed to change and whatnot, as far as like because certain things weren't relevant.
Yes, sir.
When we start talking about the church today, because you have a son, you said, how old are your kids?
I have an 11-year-old, a 21-year-old, and a 28-year-old.
Got you. So when we start talking about just the generation today and everything that's going on in church now, it's been a big shift, especially since COVID.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying, and all that. What would you say are some things that you see now that God has been showing you about, just the shift of the way that ministry is being done and stuff like that?
You really want me to talk about that? For real. Listen, today's generation has no real relevance about the four walls of a church. It's not relevant to them. It's not. What the Lord has been giving me here lately is be the church outside the four walls. It's the lifestyle that we live that's going to speak to them, to come to know the God that we say we serve. And there's nothing. I mean, church is don't forget the assembling of the saints. All of that stuff is important. But we got to get them here first. Right. You got to go to them. They not just going to volunteer to come. This generation, they're much wiser, but yet weaker. So they don't know how weak they are. We do. So we have to take the healing to them. And if you heal a man, you feed a man, you let him live for a lifetime. But you have to do it where they are. And this is what I do. I've made everything I do now a ministry. I got my cousin that's he was in prison 25 years. I got him working for me. And he's been listening to gospel music for the last about 4 or 5 months. Never knew it was gospel. I ain't saying nothing about it. One day he decided to ask me, hey, who that? Because it's all relevant to where he's at. Yeah. The boom. Mm-hmm. So he can relate to that. He said, oh, that's good. We're out there jamming. Out there jamming. And he finally asked me one day, I think last week, he said, "Dude, what you listening to?" I said, "That's Brian T. or Seven." Yeah. He said, "That's gospel." I said, "All gospel. Everything you've heard for the last 4 or 5 months has been all gospel." He said, "Man, quit." I said, "Every bit of it." That's part of my ministry. I take it to him. I got a system in every car I drive. My wife said, "Why are you putting all that money in there?" I said, "Because you don't understand. This is part of my ministry. Has been a street revived man. They can relate. I pull up to the stop sign, to the stoplight. Boom, 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 boom. Man, they jam. Hey, what's that?" I said, "Man, that Brian T. Kingdom Ministry. Pull him up." That's at one light. Blazing now, whole time. Yeah. Blazing. Get to the next light. I don't see no blaze going on.
Wow.
I don't see no blaze going on. They done pulled up Brian T. Listen. Brought about that conviction from light to light. Just imagine what it's going to do throughout the lifetime.
You introduced them to it.
Take me to church outside the walls.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
It's a ministry. The folk ask me, "Hey, you like you back in the day?" I said, "Yeah, the present day." See, I don't have to go back to enjoy who I used to be. I'm always him.
Come on.
See, I'm always him. It's just now, instead of being for the evil, it's all for the good.
For the good.
It's all for the good. It's all for the good.
You tell me that talk, boy.
It's all for the good. Everything. It's all for the good. This is what it do. This is what it do. This is what it do. I take it to him. I take it to him. Every day. Every day. Every day.
So you feel like that's one of the areas that the body of Christ now, we as a whole sometimes are missing it when it comes to that area of taking it to the people in the streets or outside of the four walls.
I do. I do feel that way because there's a lot. COVID kept us out for a while. And being that it kept us out for a while, our motive and our intent is to stay in. It's to gather. It's to gather. Why? Because we miss being together for so long. But it should be only temporary, even at that. Not that we're going to forsake the assembly of the saints. But now it's time to go get kingdom-minded. Not church-centered.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Kingdom-minded.
Yeah, we're going to have to get you on another episode. That's what I'm talking about.
We could do that. And that's just where I'm at right now. Everything that we intentionally do is kingdom-minded from this point on. Everything. I go do a job, it's kingdom-minded. Folks want to know, why you do it? Why is that? Why you so detailed? It's speaking after I'm gone. I don't finish this lady's house or this gentleman's house. I don't finish his house. But the kingdom business is still going on long after I'm gone. They look around and say, "God, that Marshall put a whole lot of effort into making sure that was right." Kingdom-minded. Kingdom-minded. Kingdom business. Kingdom business. And I know, and you get a lot of critics for that too.
Yeah. Establishing the kingdom in the world.
Yeah. Oh, you gonna get some haters.
Oh yeah.
You gonna get some haters.
Trust me, I totally understand.
Yeah, but why you hating God accelerating? Why you hating God is still yet thrusting me to places where I never thought I would ever be. Man, I was just good doing what I was doing. But he thrust me. Fellas, I'm telling you, he's thrust me. When I started understanding, taking this beyond here, he said, "Well, I got somewhere else for you to go." I'm down in Durham, man, doing work down in Durham, North Carolina. And he's speaking. And these folk don't know God. They didn't even know my real name. They addressing me as Mr. Heavy. They knew me from the day.
Wow.
They knew me from the day. But it's been all about kingdom minded. I've never changed how I treat them, what I did, but they remember. And now they address me as Mr. Heavy. This is how they address me. I had to tell them my real name probably about a year ago, man. I've been working for them about 2 years.
Wow.
They never always called me, and I never said nothing. Never changed them, corrected them, nothing. It don't even matter. Because who I am now is not who I was then. But the respect and the change in my life is not only Heavy now, it's Mr. Let's abbreviate that. Let's put something on it. See, God made them put something on it.
Yeah.
See, I didn't do that. God did. He said, "No, you just can't call him Heavy no more, because that's not who he is. He might look like it, but that ain't who he is. That's Mr. Heavy to you. He's earned that in the kingdom."
Yes, sir. So, man, we appreciate it, man. Like, I mean, everything you saying is just lining up with stuff that me and Nigel talk about all the time. You know, I mean, God has really been dealing with me about how we have to train up this generation how to invade. You know what I'm saying? Like Moses took a generation of people out of Egypt. And then Joshua took a generation of people and they invaded a country. And I believe that God is really calling us to invade the world with the kingdom. So
that's good stuff. That's good stuff right there. Because there is no other way for it to be. Why? Yeah. Because Moses only called to do his part.
For sure.
He wasn't called to do Joshua's.
Correct.
But Joshua has to do his part. Mount up. Mount up. Let's go. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Listen, there's a promised land for us. There's a promised land. It's been promised to us. Who's going to take it? I'd like to know who's going to take their promise from this giant that stands in the way. Got to be you, Nigel. John, it's got to be you. That's your promise. He didn't promise it for everybody. That's your individual promise that you got to go get. It is. Don't stand in my way. Don't stand in my way. Don't stand in the way. Because I want y'all to see the God before I get there. Because now, if he have to intervene for me, then it's going to be ugly for you.
Wow.
It's going to be ugly for you. Because see, I can only do but so much. I serve a great God. He do things in greatness. So, don't stand in the way. Please just let me go through. Let me go through. Because I'm going to do his will. Don't stand in the way. That's all I say. But that's just real. That's just real.
That's what we do. Hey, once again, man, we appreciate you coming on.
Yes, sir.
You definitely will be back.
Yes, sir. I've enjoyed every minute of it, man. For real. Because we are the voice of God today. Not the God of yesterday. No. It was good for them that was yesterday, Moses.
For sure.
It was good for them that day. But there has to be a Joshua God today.
And a lot of times we have to realize that's a mindset. Because we could easily operate in a mindset of, how things used to be done.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? And not realize that we need to switch it up. And so all of us go through that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And that's in everything. In marriage. We used to do it this way. Girl, let's switch that up.
Yes, sir. Keep it real.
But that keeps the passion that God established for a marriage. It does. It keeps everything relevant. Even when you can't, you can talk about it. You can talk about it and not be mad and not feel like I haven't done what I'm supposed to do. I don't feel any less than a man. Why? Because the God in me raised up when I can't. I live with that. I live with that. That's what he said, I'll be made perfect in your weakness. I don't take that for granted. When I need him, I'm calling the Lord. I need you to show up, baby.
Can't do it in my own strength.
No, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Man.
God knows it's been one of them days.
Yeah.
Boy, y'all got me in trouble.
That's good. Now look, now we'll go there now.
Yeah,
you know, I stayed in trouble in school, so I say, what's the difference now? I'm staying in trouble for the Lord.
I know, right? I know that's right.
We're gonna play on the edge.
Before we get out of here, I gotta tell you this. I don't know, it impacted my life. My 11th grade year, my junior year, is your son, Dominique, my junior year. Man, I didn't know I was lost, didn't know what I was doing, and we had math together. Okay. We had Miss Mathis class, and every day I felt empty, felt like I ain't have it in me. I felt like, man, my life could have ended right then. Mm-hmm. Every day, your son, man, we would sit, we probably was tearing up that class. We sit in the back of that class, and he would bring joy to me just for that little hour. So just for people, naysayers that talked about your son and everything like that, man, I don't believe none of that because I know exactly who he is and what he got in him. And man, he saved my life. I told him that when we graduated too. Wow. He saved my life. So man, anything he ever need or y'all need, man, he saved my life, man, my junior year. So that's big. And so hearing you talk and seeing that, I said, man, I see where he got it from.
That's awesome.
I see where he got it from. So, man, thank you. Thank you for teaching your son that and showing him that because he saved my life, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes,
I appreciate that. It means a lot to me to hear that. Why, as a father, train up your child in the way that he should go. Most of us wanted to do it our way. I want you to go the way I want you to go. I'm going to train you up this way. We miss it. No, you train them up in the way that they should go. Mm-hmm. This is what this is. I mean, just families and mothers, we ruin our children by trying to make them do what it is we want them to do. I vowed not to do that. I didn't have a father to show me the way. I didn't. But I knew the way that I came from. I ain't let mine go that way. Mm-hmm. The devil is a lie. You ain't going that way. You're not going that way. So I started training them up, putting something in them, leading them the right way. My wife used to be a little upset, but that was another battle we was in. But you always so something. I said, listen, you don't understand something about a father's love. Mm-hmm. We're gonna talk about this on the next game. The father's love. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you what it does. Change lives.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. That's good stuff, man.
Good stuff. Yeah. So when we come back next time, we're going to chop it up about that, the father's love.
Yes, sir. Oh, I got some things to say about that one.
Yeah, I need to hear it too because I got an 11-year-old.
Yes, sir.
11-year-old son and a 5-year-old daughter. So yes, I need the blueprint.
Yes, sir. It's written. It's engraved. All because I didn't have it. I had to write it down. Make it plain. I had to. My kids didn't know what I've been through. My son, 28 years old, he never knew how rough I used to be. Mm-hmm. I had to tell him. I had to set them down when they got of age and tell them the life that their dad came from. They didn't believe it. Oh, you lying, Dad, you ain't never done. Mm-hmm. Picked up the phone. Mm-hmm. I called Tim Covington. Mm-hmm. I said, Tim, my boys don't believe that I was who I telling I am right now. Mm-hmm. He said, listen, everything your daddy told you, he was probably 10 times that. He said your dad would come through the neighborhood and we wouldn't leave out the house. Whole neighborhood wouldn't leave their houses as long as I stayed in the park. Wow. So it's something about a father's love that'll change a man's life, change a child's life. It will. Mm. That's why fathers have to get to the place where we understand what we've really been called to do. Mm. I'm a great man to a wife, but I'm even a more powerful man to my children. Mm. I am. I don't get the two mixed up. Mm-hmm. I keep them separated because it's not the same love. Not the same. There's a difference.
Mm. 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 And that statement, when you say that, man, I could see how, when the enemy was in control of your life, people feared and they trembled.
Yes, sir.
But not demons tremble.
when I walk in the place. Huh?
Yes, sir.
That's it.
Man, look, y'all gonna get me on a whole nother story.
Yeah, I know.
For real, we ain't even gonna go there, man. Because I got some. Wait, we can talk about for real.
We'll get back, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I said, once again, you know, appreciate you, boss.
Yes, sir. It's been a blessing to me, man. Look, and it's just a blessing to be able to share the before and after.
Yeah.
The before and after.
So,
I appreciate it.
appreciate you.